Hey, NP Lisa here of NP Lisa Blogs. I'm trying a different approach today. We're having kind of bipolar weather here in the Pacific Northwest. Let me show you right now. The skies are beautiful. Hold on. Look how pretty. Anyway, it has literally been like snowing here, and then sun comes out, and then it goes away, and then it's gray, and yeah. But anyway, it's so pretty. I thought I would sit out here. So anyway, today is part 3 of my Fear of Death series. And so briefly, I will go through part 1, part 2. So part 1, I focused on the concept of energy. It cannot be created nor destroyed, and that everything is made up of energy, including us. And part 2, I went into a little bit about the soul, what it is, and also how that ties in with energy. So anyway, today's video, part 3, is on near-death experiences. Interesting. What is a near-death experience? Well, in the words of the NDERF, NDERF.org, which stands for Near-Death Experience Research Organization, Foundation. It is actually the largest near-death experience website in the world. People have literally written in from all over the globe with their near-death experiences. And so I'm going to give their definition of a near-death experience. And I quote, "A lucid experience associated with perceived consciousness apart from the body occurring at the time of actual or threatened imminent death." That's their definition. So, I'm going to share with you, if I can, a story, my personal story. So when I was really young, I'm talking like, 3rd or 4th grade, I had a dream. And in my dream, the dream just picked up. I was on an operating room table. I don't know why I was there. I have no idea. And next thing I know, the machine went flatline, and I was not in my body, and I was looking down, and I was watching them trying to save me. And it was a very detached feeling, very peaceful. I didn't feel scared or really just, I remember thinking, well, that's interesting. I'm not even there anymore. Next thing I know, it was inky black. This wasn't a scary blackness. It wasn't frightening in any way. And then I was laying in these hands, 2 hands. But the feeling was the most intense, loved feeling. Like there's really no words to adequately describe it. And I just remember saying, oh my gosh, I don't want to go back. But this voice said, it's not your time yet. And so laid me back down, and that was it. That was my dream. And I have never forgotten that. And I will say that if you read a lot of people's near-death experiences, several of them have had clinical deaths of their body and then come back. But some people have dreams like that too, and it's like a vision. It never leaves you. It's not the same as when we wake up, and I'm sure you've had this happen, right? Like you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I had such a crazy dream. And then, your friend or partner or whatever is like, well, what was it? And you're like, I don't know. And then it fades as the day goes on. This isn't the same. Like this is different. Like it doesn't fade. You always remember it very, very clear. So, I will say, there was a time when I would think about my own death, and it would be very frightening to me. I would think, oh my gosh, like, how's it going to happen? And when is it going to happen? And what becomes of me? Like, do I just not exist anymore? And all of that's scary. Think about it. I think you worry literally, like, is it going to hurt? And that may sound kind of dumb, but not really, because we know people die in tragic accidents, car accidents, boat accidents, whatever. And sometimes illnesses like cancer, which can be painful. So, these are real fears, I think, that are legitimate that we have. It's the ultimate mystery. What happens when our body dies, and where do we go from there? So that prompted me to do a lot of my own research. Plus I had that dream when I was very young. So I started reading a lot of people's near-death experiences. I started reading books of different psychics, famous ones like Theresa Caputo's books and Kim Russo, and I think her name's Lynn Jackson, and more. I read a lot of their things. And whether you believe that's true or not, that people can actually communicate with spirits that have moved on, it was very interesting to me, and kind of similar messages really throughout, that everybody that passed was very happy and good and still existing. I think that's the big thing, right? Like, they didn't just cease to exist. They're just there in another form. That's why I talked about energy. It can't be created, can't be destroyed. It can only change forms, right? And the soul can't die for those same reasons. So, you know, can we come up with rock solid proof about these things? No. But by the years of research I spent, it really helped me to not worry, you know, just live my life and don't worry, because I do believe that we go on and we have more experiences that probably are way more amazing than what we experience here in our physical life, you know. And that's a common theme in a lot of these people's experiences, is that that's really stood out to me, is that in all these people's, you know, near-death experiences, the common thread was they felt like they had returned home, and that they described that same feeling of intense love that's very hard to describe that I had in my dream, and nobody wanted to come back. Think about that. That's the key. Nobody wanted to come back. So what does that tell you, right? So, you know, I think just like we don't remember being born, I think it's like one door closes, another one opens, and I don't think it's something to be scared of. And I really do believe in our society, especially here in America, if we could come to terms with this, right, and just get peaceful. Being at peace with your own death is not the same as a death wish, okay? They're different. I don't have a death wish, but I always say, I'm not scared. When it's my time, it's my time. I'm at peace with it. Remember, this is after years of experience. So, I'm sorry, research. So I would say that I think if we were a little okay with it more in our society, then perhaps when the pandemic was around, perhaps people wouldn't have been so scared and so willing and just to give up their freedom and not question anything. You know, I really believe that. I think if we as individuals or in our society weren't so frightened of it, that it wouldn't have been so easy to fool us in so many ways, you know? And I think that's important. But in the end, my mission or my goal with this series is hopefully to help you and you and you and you to, you know, get to that place of peace with your death, and even that of our loved ones. Because, you know, when our loved one dies, I mean, it doesn't mean we're not going to grieve their being gone. Of course we're going to grieve. We're going to miss them, and that's okay. But I truly believe that we see them again, maybe many lifetimes. So, you know, in my dream, I had no doubt that it was God that spoke to me. I just felt it. I knew it instinctively. You know, so whatever you think God is, I don't think this has to be religious, honestly. That's the point of this video. So anyway, look, so see, it was sunny and now we're gray again. It's literally been raining, snowing. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to my video, and I hope you liked it, and I hope it helps. And if you do, if you hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. If you're interested in more, you can hit the bell for notification, I can't talk, of when the next video comes out, which should be each week. And subscribe. I'd appreciate it. So that's nplisablogs.blogspot.com. That's my blog, and I will be putting some links and also on my blog to that near-death experience research foundation. They have a lot of really interesting stories. All right, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you like it. I do. I wish the best for you. All right, thank you very much. And until I see you again, please live your best life every day. Bye.